All right, so we're going to take a look at Tainan's 2026 Worlds matches. There's 4 of them, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and typically we wouldn't be able to do something like this in a 20-30 minute kind of review because matches are 10 minutes long, and uniquely with Tainan's matches, they were all under 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So I think it was around 6 minutes and 12 seconds. And so what we get into here, what we'll notice is I'll kind of talk about the first 2 matches, and then the next 2, they're, I wouldn't say they're mirror of the matches, because what you'll notice here is they all finish the same way. They all finish on the back. But there's some really interesting things that, as I was reviewing this and kind of looking back at some of Tynan's stuff, is the way he plays and attacks the position. And I'm not sure if it was just this year that he went out this way, but the statement that he made of having all submissions, and the points they didn't seem to be a factor. It seemed like the submission was what he was going for. So he won all his 4 matches by the same submission from the back, his kind of bow and arrow choke. So because the matches are so short, it gave me a little bit of time to go back in and take a look at some of the other matches that led up to this, which was really interesting. So if I close this for a second, and we look at Tainan's matches here, Tainan, his first match was with his Alvim, and then it was with Silva, Leonardo, Pedro Leonardo Silva, and then Matheus Luna, and then this was the finals match, this Natan Chueng. And there's some interesting things that take place in this. So using this jiu-jitsu net, looking at his first match, you can see he had a match that he won, and then the next one was.
I'm be sharing it all if you're trying to share.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can. Maybe it's just sharing my one screen. Maybe it's just sharing this. It's just sharing this, right? Can you see the?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. Change. Maybe it's just going to share my one screen. All right, well, let me just go through this then. I'll see if I can figure that out at the end. So we'll go ahead and play this through. What was interesting is this first match with Alvim is this is his, I think it's Oilson Alvim. His first match, he won, and I didn't review that one to see how he won. But we'll go through this beginning here. What I noticed right away in this match, which is different than all the next 3, is this is the only match Tainan pulls. And if we go back and see when he pulls, Tainan likes to pull with his double lapel. He gets a double lapel and then pulls into what is that kind of open closed guard position, sets up his reverse de la Hiva. And this was actually probably one of the longer matches here. He gets into the sweep, and what's interesting here is they're both holding onto pants, so they can't build up height here. But Tainan starts to weave his right foot in, and now he's adjusting his base, and now he'll be able to come up into that grip on that pants becomes nothing. All right, and now what Tainan does is he's looking to do these outside speed passing kind of situations. You'll see he'll get a grip on the collar, a grip on the pant, and he's going to look to get into like a knee slice. In this case, he's exposing the back right away, but you'll see him go back to this. They'll have to it's kind of off screen at this point. Sorry. Let me see if I can. Yeah, they adjust the cameras here. And so the real grips here is he always has like one hand is on one side, the other hand is on the other side. This grip with it moves so fast. It moves so fast. This grip that he gets, with his. Let's see if I can see here. He exposes the back, which is he typically gets the back from there. All right, and this grip that he gets with his right hand, you'll see he has it on the pant right now, but he's going to switch this hand to this mirror grip. I call it mirror grip. Is just on the same side. That hand, if you watch, once he connects it, it doesn't move. So now he's the back step, then he does a back spin. Now watch this hand here. Once it connects to this cross grip, this becomes important for his back take. Now this part, I think it was the mistake on if I could do this. The camera's kind of out of. This is the mistake on his opponent. He just tries to pull away, and by pulling away, it just allowed Tainan to kind of sit into this, and then just put his left leg over for that top hook, which he typically rolls through. And now they're out of bounds. So what he's going to do is solidify the position because they'll know they'll be reset. He's got a body lock, and now they'll reset in the middle. I mean, you could almost run through all these matches twice, but because they go so darn fast. Try to get here.
So you can see he almost used the cross grip. He kind of did similar to what we looked at when we were looking at Turismo. He did the long step to the cross grip.
Right.
But he went right to the back then.
Yeah, he did that top spin.
He wasn't like hanging out there, like doing the sprawling and waiting. He like cross step to immediately long step to get into the back almost.
They'll adjust the camera in a second, but yeah, that top spin that he does. This match is. They'll adjust it in a second.
Just a quick question.
Yeah, right.
Why, instead of pulling away, what should the opponent have done?
That's a good question, but by he's probably to get his back to the mat and keep peeling away.
Okay.
But by leaning forward, you're just exposing the back to the situation, and you can. I'll go back and show that again, but you'll see other guys that are playing. This happens over and over. Tainan just creates this. He goes between two different passing styles. His outside speed passing, which is usually trying to do, he's connecting a grip on the pant and a grip on the collar, and he's looking to get through either a knee slice, and then he'll step back into like a knee weave, like so that the person can't turn back into him. He keeps them twisted, shoulders one direction, hips the other direction. And you'll see some of these guys will try to get turned back into him, but it doesn't really matter because Tainan has such great control here. It's really for me to say this is what this guy should do is
Right.
a little above my pay grade, I feel like. But as they restart here, he's already got the body lock on. He's got a double lapel grip, and then this move that he does, all he's doing is adjusting his hands here right now. He has one hand on the cross lapel and the other hand's on the other cross lapel, and it's almost like we call it sometimes a zipper choke. But what Tainan does is he baits him to go over his foot, and then he puts it on the collar, and then it's a bow and arrow choke. All right. So again, it's fast. It's really fast to see, and it happens over. But this position where he's got the body lock on right now, he's controlling him until he gets the grips he likes. Once he gets the grips he likes, then grips are set, and now he just puts the leg over the thing and pulls. You can still he holds on to it right there for a second. So this so for this next match is Pedro Leonardo, and this is the quarterfinals, and this is where you see this double lapel. And so he'll either pull or he'll, in this case, Pedro's going to pull and establish his closed guard or his reverse daily diva position. What was really interesting there was as he got pulled into that almost into the closed guard, A lot of people will get pulled into closed guard right away, and they'll accept it. Maybe not at this level, but what you should notice here is when he gets pulled in, Tainan puts that left knee up to prevent his legs from closing. All right. And you won't notice this too often with Tainan, that his feet are down or his knees are down for too long. He establishes a grip on the collar, a grip on the pant. And now he's got his shin on that thigh. And that's the ideal spot where you want to be as a top passer. So the two different things that Tainan was, I don't think I finished my thought, but is Tainan's an outside speed passer and a mid-range pressure passer, right? So there's three ranges that they like to go through in these. Is that close passing, which you're kind of, putting tons of pressure in, and kind of an OG style or a lower style. Then there's this mid kind of range where you can back out, do headquarters, a lot of left passes in this range, a lot of Tainan passes in this range. But what I notice with Tainan is his grip changing. He's constantly changing from either a mirror grip, meaning his right hand is going to be controlling the left lapel, so like you're looking in a mirror, versus his right hand controlling the right lapel. That'd be a cross grip. And then if he's grabbing a lapel, he's grabbing a pant somewhere. Now this is what we're calling like a shin pin. The knee is on one side, the foot is controlling here. This becomes important because Tainan's going to let go with his right hand to start working to get the lapel. And I'm not sure right now if he controlled the elbow to pull his knee across, because it's hard to see him here, but typically that's what he does. He'll pin here, pull the elbow straight, and then shoot his hips forward. Now you can see that he let go of it because Pedro was able to base up on his hand. And Tainan just moves his weight over him to try to get his back flat on the mat. Now he's going to grab a collar, and he's going to grab the top pan again. That's a mirror grip. This here, he'll punch straight, and he'll punch that straight. Trying to punch that leg straight. For a little bit, Pedro almost gets into that deep half setup. But Tainan kind of defends that by moving backwards. See how I grabbed his belt, and pulled him back onto his side. And if you're kind of following jiu-jitsu a little bit, like a lot of jiu-jitsu people playing this kind of concave position where it's kind of curved. And as I'm reading through, like in the scientific jiu-jitsu, this is kind of at the detriment of the bottom player. This position is taking you out of an alignment of strength. And what he should be doing is, obviously pushing him away with both hands. Tainan is making that impossible. He's got a grip on the collar, and he's bending him. He's bending him forward. He just has better positioning to be able to do this. And when you're dealing with guys that are similar size, you're in the same weight category, it becomes a little bit more that who can be in a better position with alignment, internal and external alignment. So right now, Pedro's internal alignment is pretty poor, and that's probably because Tainan is forcing it that way. Right? Again, he's going to get that pant grip. He's got that collar grip. And then he does something really interesting here is once he gets his knee through, he switches and watches how he, instead of jumping to like knee on belly, he jumps into this position right here. It's not quite knee on belly. He shoves the knee into the hip. And then he kind of creates a little wedge in here. See, I think what he was anticipating is for him to go knee on belly and go over, where Pedro would then catch Tainan's right leg in kind of a half guard. Now, I didn't look at Pedro's game typically, but he did have to win a match to get here, and I don't remember if it was off of winning off a back or not. But this becomes interesting because now I think Tainan will change his grips. If I remember watching it. Steps out. And this is one where he's controlling this hip, because now what he does is he slides this foot in, and he does that kind of barrel roll or that rolling back take that So this hook slides in, and as he rolls, he will end up on his, I believe, his right side. Hook goes in, rolls him all the way over to the choking side. He's got a hand under the, he's already got a hand on the collar, or might even have both hands on the collar at this point. He does, because he doesn't move into this position unless he has both hands on. And again, he just gets into that Tainan bow and arrow choke. You can see both hands are grabbing each lapel. This is the third match. This becomes an interesting match here with Matheus Luna, because Matheus won his previous match with a back submission. Matter of fact, a lot of these guys end up winning off a back submission, which is kind of interesting. But this match went a long duration, and Matheus Luna plays a different type of game. He played a guard kind of game, came up to a sweep, and then was in a back position. So it's a little bit different. All these guys, Tainan is the top of the heap right here. The second place guy, I didn't see him in the Worlds competition. So these guys come down a little bit lower. I can't show you the rankings right now because it's only showing my screen right here. But in this one here, it's kind of a rinse and repeat of everything. This guy is a guard player, so he's going to pull. Gets in that kind of position to prevent passing. Again, watch this one here. I believe Tainan gets double pant grips. Oh, that was a no. Yeah, sorry. He's pushing him into a leg drag position. But again, he's got a pant, and now he's got the hip. He's really forcing him into this leg drag position. I thought this guy did a pretty good job at you know, he felt the most comfortable here in this kind of position. But again, it's a wrong kind of body mechanics. His shoulders over here and his legs are over here. This is not a great position for him, but it's because Tainan's forearm is pushing these legs down, and he's controlling the hips so he can't invert, which is what this guy wants to do. He's really working that arm leg cross. I don't know if that's really doing too much. Tainan's got a collar now. He changed from the pant leg to the collar. That's his preferred grip now for taking the back. He's got that cross grip. He's going to start to work. And this one becomes an interesting one because I think now he throws his half leg. Oh, he shot the bottom leg. He has a number of different ways he gets the hook, and sometimes it's the top in a barrel roll. Sometimes it's sit straight up. We go back a little bit. This is kind of where Matt would teach, as he kind of explained it, as kind of the snowplow. He sat him up to throw this hook in. And now he's on the choking side. And that's the side he wants to maintain. And now he's setting his grips. He's taking his time getting his grips. You can't see it. And once he gets his grips and he can put his other leg in, then he's not worried about scoring points right here. He's just looking to finish. He's got his grips. And now he's going to play around with this until he can get his top hook in. He needs the top hook in because he needs to be able to control the hips on that belt line and then slide his right leg out. Where are we for time? We're good. He's got his grips. And remember, the guy, Pedro, or Matheus, just finished his guy in the same exact position. He finished him in the back, same choke. Matter of fact, a lot of these guys did, to get to these rounds with Tainan, finish their person with these chokes. Now the guy rolled to the other side, which allowed Tainan to move his leg. Boom. He always gets that leg over that shoulder, gets that grip and pulls. So it's the same finish, but he entered the back differently on this one. We'll move into the last one. The last one becomes interesting because this guy that he goes against in his fourth match actually defeated Tommy Langer. And we reviewed Tommy, or I'm not sure if we both did, but I know Dan did for a nogi match with Joseph Chen just last week. And what was really interesting about that is that was Tommy's second match. I think it was his second match. His first match, he beat Elijah Dorsey. And now I reviewed Tainan and Elijah Dorsey. And if you guys remember, Elijah gave Tainan a really difficult time. That was probably one of the more challenging matches. And Tommy beat Elijah in the first round, and beat him by a back take and a back choke, just like Tainan just did. So it's to kind of go back and look at those, like, how did we get there kind of moments. It's really interesting. This one becomes interesting because I don't know how you say his name, not Nathan, but Natan. Natan's match right before this was a decision. He went to decision, and he obviously got the decision. But the match that he was with is a match that Tainan is a European kind of Europeans champion, Jose Steve, or I think that's his Jose Steve, I believe it was Iceman, and it was a close match. So we get into here. This is probably Tainan's fastest match, I think. Pulls guard. Now, what I noticed with Natan is he plays a lot of footlocks. He played a lot of straight ankles. And Tainan gets that pant grip and that collar grip. Kind of a light dude, it looks like. Kind of just manhandled him, double leg over. And now he's got a hook in. Now he's setting his grips. See here, you can see he's already working his grip. He's taking his left hand, feeding it to his right so he can get that grip. And then he'll reach for the other lapel. This is the clearest look at the grips. Now that he's got his grips in place, this leg, once he has it in here, this leg wants to go over for belt and hook, and because he's got it on the choking side, and this leg wants to come up top. Or vice versa. You can do it either way. Yeah, that's the quickest match right there. So I'm hoping everybody got to see those matches and how they were similar, but slightly different. Just in the way he took the back, especially this match being so quick. He got double pant grips, threw it all the way to the side, and just from there just starts working those collar and pant grips. Let me see if I can show you the progression here. Hold on a second. While I'm doing that, if anybody's got any questions.
Tainan almost surprisingly easy in the last match.
No doubt, right?
He surprised himself.
So if we looked at it in here, you see, now you should be able to see the jiu-jitsu net, right?
Yep.
Here, and I have a little bit of time, so I'm good. You can see the matches, how they progressed. This was Brasileiro, and so that was who the finals match Natan had to beat, and that was the draw. All right, so Tainan went through these. Tainan's a 25-60 versus a 19. This was actually a pretty hard match for him. I mean, this is the longest match, but it was the first match too, and he pulled guard. Then this next match, you can see, they kind of, they obviously went up, which was surprising. You get to this match here, and it was so quick. So then if we look at his first match, this was his first match, and this guy had to win against him. I didn't watch that match. And this is kind of what I did. I went back and looked at him like, well, how did these guys get here? If Tainan went through them so fast, who else did they go through? And Pedro went through, this guy, it was, I think it was a submission, but, he doesn't have a lot in his, he just has, some opens and then pans. And looks like he lost in that one. And then we get to Matheus, and, you see his world's run. He beat these two guys. You think he beat them by a back choke. And then you see Tommy. So I'm like, okay, I think I wrote Tommy here. Yeah. Tommy beats, Big Breakfast, Elijah Dorsey, with a pretty convincing, back choke. So I went back and watched those matches. It was pretty interesting. I don't know if anybody's got anything else that they want to ask or.